The car seemingly designed by a psychopath, the TVR Sagaris was as unforgiving as it was brutal. The car snarling inline 6 put 380 horsepower to the back wheels, and the only way to control it was the 5-speed manual and the steering wheel. There was no ABS and no electronic assists of any kind. If or more likely, when the Sagaris tried to throttle you, it was also worth pointing out there were no airbags. When you climb into a car named after a battle axe, expect no mercy. We often talk about cars with aggressive styling, but with the debut of the Hyundai Santa Fe Zombie-Mobile it may be time to retire the term. Designed with the Walking Dead Chop Shop configurator app by TWD Finance & Co., the utility vehicle is covered with blades along the body to hew through herds of the undead. They're also mounted machine guns, barbed wire across the windows, and an automatic crossbow fitted to the hood. This sadly wouldn't become an available trim level for the Santa Fe, so we'll just have to deal with driving through Manhattan rush hour or a zombie apocalypse another way. Taking a stock Mustang on a drag strip and ripping down the tarmac is a white-knuckle experience on its own. Now imagine if the horsepower is up to 8,000 horsepower, the regular body is replaced by a fiberglass shell, and the only thing that'll stop you is twin parachutes or a wall. Both of which, by the way, still offer no guarantees. UE now in the world of funny car drag racing. This example is piloted by Courtney Force, daughter of 15-time NHRA champ, John Force. Courtney has the stones to take her Traxxas Ford Mustang to 300 mph and call it an everyday job. Grandpa Munster could always be trusted to come up with a plan to bail out Herman when he got in over his flat head. So when Herman lost the family car in a race, Grandpa slapped together things lying around the creepy Munster mansion and turned them into a hot rod that would put Dr. Frankenstein to shame. Crafted from a real coffin, the devilish dragster had a 350 horsepower V8, Gothic organ pipes fitted for the exhaust and a marble gravestone between the front wheels. That was handy if something ever went wrong and you went blaring off course into oblivion. The funeral arrangements were already pretty much in place, after all. When you see the glowing red lights, you better get out of the way. Gravedigger has been a fixture in the monster truck scene for the past 30 years, so much so that it's the most recognizable car crusher this side of Bigfoot. Gravedigger reckless thrashing over obstacles sounds crazy, and that because it is. Nothing prepares you for a 12,200 pounds truck with 1,700 horsepower leaping skyward, over row after row of flattened cars. Imagine you on a long stretch of highway and a large, crud-covered truck relentlessly pursued you despite every effort to escape it. Sometimes it trying to run you off the road. Other times, it just sitting there, taunting you with silence. The Peterbilt truck in Steven Spielberg's second-ever film Duel struck fear in 1971 audiences not because it was a killing machine, but a tool for psychological terror. Originally a cheerful polka-dotted ice cream van, it now the vehicle of choice for the twisted murder clown Sweet Tooth in the video game series Twisted Metal. The van is heavily modified with battering rams, machine guns, and even a napalm weapon to make certain Sweet Tooth permanent plastic grin is the last thing his victims ever see. What motivates Stuntman Mike is unclear, but what obvious is that his target's gorgeous young women on joyrides meet with gruesome ends. We introduced at first to his one Chevy Nova, which is matte black and emblazoned with a skull, crossed bolts, and one very angry duck for a hood ornament. His first victim finds out on a ride along that the car is thief-proof, but the same can be said for its unlucky passengers. The T1 is meant to be the closest thing to a Formula 1 car that can be legally driven on the road. This insect-like sports car weighs only 1,076 pounds and has a 575 horsepower V8 mounted in the back. That gives the Caparo a power-to-weight ratio similar to strapping a cruise missile onto a skateboard. The aerodynamic bodywork is supposed to keep all that ludicrous force under control, but a DOES can come into play at low speeds. If you want to tame this car, you'll have to go flat out. Was I going too fast? When does my registration expire? Did I forget to get those chopped up bodies out of the trunk? A million things pop up in your mind when those flashing lights appear in your rearview mirror. Even the most docile driver can start sweating bullets when a police cruiser rolls up behind them. That officer of the law could always be a hungry zombie in disguise. In all likelihood, however, the worst end result is a speeding ticket versus being a snack for the undead.